When the lights go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay, ooh, I wanna be there in my city. Oh, oh,
We're at the last one. We're at the last one! Woo! Okay, wait. What was it again? Oh, it's Okay, we finally hit the end of this. I'm sorry I had to speed through this all of a sudden. I had to keep my schedule on track. But we're at the last movie, and yeah, it's Shazam, Fury of the Gods, the new one. I will say, I did see this when it came out. I don't know if I saw it the day of that it came out. Maybe I saw it that weekend. I'm not entirely sure. But I didn't put this movie off. I had no intention of just not doing a video on it when it came out. I forgot. I did. I realized it when I said I was going to rewatch all the DCEU movies. So, like, oh, I can get excited for The Flash and all that. Was not aware that I completely forgot to talk about this one. So, luckily, it hit HBO Max. I rewatched it. And the thing that I will say about it is, this is a superhero sequel, or a movie of a bygone era for comic book movies. And that's just superhero sequels that are surprisingly generic and just more direct sequels to the first movie than anything. On paper, it actually sounds pretty refreshing. Just nothing that is like outwardly connecting to a cinematic universe or anything like that. Just a sequel to a movie. And that's pretty cool. It is largely disconnected from the majority of the DCU. The first Shazam was like that as well. That one had more references to other heroes, but this one is kind of light on it from what I remember of it. The story is a little more on the generic side, but it's basically along the lines of the the Daughters of Atlas, I would say. There are three sisters played by Helen, Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Zegler. They're back to get the wizard's staff that gives Shazam his powers. And because it was broken, and the bridge between worlds now is connected. I think that's how they described it in the movie. And now it's up to Shazam and the whole family to stop them from doing that. I do have to note another thing before getting into the movie. This movie bombed. Like, one of the biggest superhero movie bombs ever. I don't know the logistics off the top of my head, but I do remember a statistic when the movie came out that said it was almost as big of a bomb as the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry from like almost 2 decades ago, and just knowing that just gives me a sinking feeling. And I will say, it's nowhere near as bad as the Catwoman movie, but actually I don't think this is that bad at all. I think it's okay. And I really do think the only reason why it bombed is because of Black Adam, and I think they should have waited for James Gunn's slate of announcement until after this movie came out. I really do think that's why this movie bombed so dismally. When it comes to everything else in the movie, it's basically more Shazam. If you liked the first movie, I'm pretty sure you'll be a fan of this one. However, there is one issue I have with this movie that's not really present in the first one, but it's much more present here, and that is Shazam himself, played by Zachary Levi. He had a bit of a mental breakdown trying to promote this movie, and I feel bad for him in that regard, but just, I get it. Zachary Levi is just way too goofy in this movie. It completely contradicts with what the Kid Billy, played again by Asher Angel, is what he's doing. It feels like completely different characters now. And honestly, it felt more charming in the first movie when it was, again, big as a superhero movie. It had that charm going for it, and you could get away with Zachary Levi acting a little goofy because he was on screen less. We were focusing more on Asher Angel and Billy and all that, and I thought that had a lot of heart to it, and I just don't think that's here in this one that much, because it's got to be a superhero sequel, and you got to set up, and there were things set up in the first one that you got to pick back up or make a new plot line in this one. Just like in the first movie, I think Jack Dylan Grazer's pretty great as Freddy in this. Just, he knows what he's doing, and honestly, his personality matches more with Zachary Levi's in this, so you should have flipped that in the original casting. But I really do think that every scene with him, and also Rachel Zegler, is great. I do like Rachel Zegler. I think she should have been nominated for an Oscar for West Side Story, and it's nice to see her in something else and knowing that she's still getting roles. And who doesn't love Lucy Liu? Like, come on. I feel like she brought a great dynamic to this trio, and along with Helen Mirren, which, I don't know, I've never really imagined Helen Mirren in a superhero movie before, but I think it's funny. I know she was in Excalibur, like, back in the 80s, maybe? But it's funny to see her in this and just, like, read jokes. She does a good job, because, Helen Mirren is a good actor. But just, it's funny to see it. And it actually looks like, for this movie in particular, they all wanted to be there, which, that's always a win for me. The action's pretty nice as well, nothing really too specific. I did like the final battle as well, which had a dragon made of wood. I feel like that is really being, like, overlooked in those reviews. I'm a sucker for, like, good creature designs. I really loved this, like, dragon, this living dragon, like, made of wood that could breathe fire, but the wood the wood is not affected by the fire, and it's a very cool look. They've shown that dragon in the posters. I think it looks cool as hell in the movie. And that's also on top of the visual effects looking pretty okay. In this, it's nothing mind-blowing, but they do its job, and there aren't a lot of obvious flaws that are in here. Yeah, there's not much else to say about Fury of the Gods. I thought it was perfectly acceptable. I gotta admit, it's not really something I'm gonna remember. I think the first one is better, but it's something to throw on. If you see it on streaming, I think it's a perfectly fine watch. Fury of the Gods is the definition of a 6 out of 10. It's fine, not entirely memorable, but I feel like you could have a little fun with it. It's something to put on that'll turn your brain off for a bit, have a little bit of fun, and just move on with your day. Alright, and that is the end of the DCEU marathon. We kind of blew through that one. But either way, my review for The Flash is going up really, really soon, but actually tomorrow by the time this video goes up. So I want you to let me know. I'm going to post the playlist as a card, I think that's what it is, or like one of those little pop-up things that's in the last 20 seconds of a video. So you can go to that and see all the different videos that are there. So out of all of them, out of all the DCEU movies, which one is your favorite? By the end, probably when The Flash comes out, or maybe by the end of the year, because I don't know if Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 is a part of this DCEU thing yet, or the part of James Gunn stuff, but I'm probably going to do a ranking video for all of them, because I think that could be pretty fun. So either way, go in the comments, let me know what you think about Shazam! Fury of the Gods if you have seen it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.